or not, here I come. You can't hide. Gonna find you and take it slowly. Ready or not, here I come. You can't hide. Gonna find you and make you want me.
Now that I escape, sleep, walk awake. Those who correlate know the world ain't kick. Jail bars ain't golden gates. Those who fake, they break.
All right, guys. Hello. Welcome to the Transparency Friday happy hour for some of you guys. Other of you guys, nighttime. So, again, welcome to the Transparency. Got a great live show. Those of you guys that love Chris Watts, you're not going to believe this, but Rabia did an episode on Chris Watts. Can you believe it? I know, I can't either.
I think not. I'll send a letter to my friends. A born again hooligan, only to be king again.
Ready or not, here I come. You can't hide. Gonna find you.
What is up, Hot Ham? I know, crazy.
Ready or not, here I come. You can't hide. Gonna find you and make you want me. Yo, I play my enemies like a game of chess where I rest. No stress if you don't smoke cess. Less, I must confess, my destinies manifest. This in vortex and sweats, I make tracks like I'm homeless.
Hot Ham, yes, crazy. Again, welcome to the Transparency. What is up, Jeremiah? What's up, Nay? Bumblebee, uh-oh. We got the heavy hitters in here. Yes, this past Thursday, so yesterday, Rabia released a new podcast, and it's called Rabia and Ellen Solve the Case. And that's what today's live episode that I'm doing is going to be talking about. Because Rabia did an episode of Chris Watts. Can you believe it? Again, we got some London people in here. Halo. Shelby. Not sure if you're from London, but it is subscribers of, I think, 20 minutes or more to be able to live chat. So anybody that's not, all you got to do is click the subscribe button, wait your 20 minutes, and then you can have at it. So, but yeah, Rabia launched a new podcast, and her second episode, which came out, well, it came out yesterday, but she had recorded it in July of 2022. But it just, it dropped yesterday, and it was about Chris Watts. And see, I'm a huge fan of Rabia. I think she should really be up for Times Person of the Year. What she's done for Adnan Syed, if she was not in his life, Adnan would be in prison for the rest of his life, no doubt about it. What is up, Maple Beeve? I'm so glad that you finally decided to subscribe so that you could be in live chat. So I am going to go ahead and talk about this briefly. Very interesting because of the comments that they released in this episode. I really want to know who their sources are because, again, as much as I'm a fan of Rabia, hands down, huge supporter. I put it in the description here. It's called Rabia and Ellen Solve the Case. I definitely think that you should, if you have to subscribe to it. I know I listened to it for free last night, so I'm sure it's not going to cost you anything. You just got to find it. It was sent to me, and I listened to it. I've been under the weather a little bit, but I did get to listen to it last night. And very interesting, some of the stuff that was said, because there was some things that they got right, but there was some stuff that, I mean, if they're labeling it as fact, I really, really want to know where their sources are and where they're getting this information. For starters, I'm going to kick it off with the big one, which is they said that Shanann had oxy in her system with the autopsy report. I've followed the Chris Watts case since 2018. Been pretty much one of the main sources to get information out, whether it was true, false, all these things. And that toxicology report on Shanann saying that there was oxy in her system, I have never seen that or never heard that before. So, oh, Maple Beef's just getting to the airport. Oh, you coming in town? Oh, good. Okay, good. I'll just send you an Uber. So here we go. Let's see.
It's like the coolest name.
It is a very cool name, but not when you put it like that. Look at the way
That's
that goes.
weird.
So very quickly she was like a little bit worried, thought maybe he had done something
You
to
never
them.
want to assume that in somebody that you've grown to
Right.
trust, though. That's the thing. Is like I don't think that
Then
you'd
why are
be
you
like.
asking to delete all the messages? Because that would be something I'm like, oh, I'm holding on to this shit. If this guy's a killer, I'm holding on to all
Yeah,
of this.
whoa.
Unless there's something in there that's going to implicate you.
Yeah.
Right?
No way. Oh crap.
That's how I would look
crazy.
at it. But to me, the 2 points of kind of like evidence, I'm using air quotes, that I think are really troubling in terms of her possible connection to the actual murders is the cell phone issue.
Again, to Gaten's point, I feel like this was just a lot of really stupid mistakes.
This could this is just like, why are you trying to cover your tracks about this stupid affair? It's fine. It was dumb, but people do dumb things. This is so much bigger than that. This is so much bigger than that.
The day of the murders, they had no communication until about 3:45. But then the night, so this is the same night after the cops had been there.
So they'd spoken for 111 minutes the night before.
Right.
Then they don't talk till 3:45.
Yep. And the phone records would show.
Okay, so right there, again, Rabia, I love you to death, but that is not true. They most certainly had conversations throughout that day. In fact, he sent her a text message with a picture because of like, hey, where are you? Type of thing. So there was, so right there, Rabia and Ellen are under the assumption that it was uncommon for them. They went all day and didn't talk until, Ellen gets it wrong and she says 5:15. Rabia corrects her and she said, no, something happened at 3:45. Rabia's right. Something did happen at 3:45. But throughout the day, most certainly there was a text message. In fact, 2 of them. One from each person, meaning NK and Chris.
They were all, you know what it's like when you're, young love.
Newly banging, yes.
You know, all that stuff, the back and
You're like right there, I love Rabia. She says newly banging. This is why I think this podcast is going to be great. Rabia is unapologetically her. She's been that way for Anon since the beginning. And I think that more women need to be that way. I know that I catch a lot of slack for being that way, but I will always be that way. And it's nice when you see other women promoting and cheering on other powerful women. Because guys in that type of situation, if they were to say that, it's no big deal. A woman says that, and either, like me, I think that's hilarious. Like, it's her, like, oh, they were just newly banging. Perfect. Perfectly said, because that's the truth. Right?
Did she just want to delete the sexy text?
Yeah.
Is that what she wanted to delete?
She did mention that, but they had been in constant contact for 6 weeks, nonstop, every hour. Not an hour went by. But on this day, they didn't.
Okay, so right there, Ellen is exaggerating that. That is not true. They weren't in contact every hour of every day. But, hey, like I said, it is what it is.
Didn't speak or text all day. But then at 5:01, Nicole called Chris twice. They both went unanswered. She deletes that from her call history. 5:30, Chris calls Nicole back. She doesn't answer. He deletes it from his call history. She deletes it from his call history.
Can we just stop right there?
Yeah.
What?
Can we just stop right there? Because if at this point she has no reason to know anything's happening, there's no reason for her to delete it unless she knows something's happening.
I gotta look at. I'm like reading off.
We have
that
this
just
timeline
blew my
here.
mind for a second.
So then at 11:09,
Because nothing's public yet. It's not like the world knows that these people are missing.
well, he had texted.
So right here, when I listened to this last night, I was like, let me think about that for a second, because what basically Rabia is saying right here is that those deleted, like that being deleted, she's basically implying that it was deleted prior to any knowledge of anything being done to anybody. So why are you guys deleting anything? Well, I want to go back and check that, because I don't believe that is accurate. I believe that all that stuff happened later on. So, but welcome if you're just popping in here. I'm going to back this up just a little bit. If you guys are on the train of NK had something to do with the murders, then this is for you. And that's kind of why I wanted to talk about this. So if you're on that train that NK had something to do with the homicides, then this is for you.
Her girls, Bella, who was 5, and Celeste, 4, who they lovingly called Cece. Their life was picture perfect, some might say. They were a handsome couple, and it seemed they had a nice home, nice cars, beautiful children, and Shanann loved documenting their picturesque life on Facebook. Only a few short weeks before this horrible tragedy, she had set up a surprise camera with a t-shirt that said, "Oops, we did it again." And this was to surprise her husband, Chris, that they were having another baby, a boy. But we all know social media isn't real. They were financially upside down, and their marriage was actually falling apart. But while Shanann was reading marriage improvement books, her husband Chris was plotting her murder.
Okay, so right there, they're making it seem like, Shanann was reading home improvement books, relationship improvement books, like, from, like, I don't know, longer than she was. Shanann, in fact, was only Googling things and looking for things online. The only book that she bought was the one that Chris got. And that started just, just a couple days before. So they deep dived this, though. This is not something that they just did overnight. They deep dived this. But I want you guys to hear some of this stuff, because Cato's referenced. The Oxy is referenced. I was like, OMG, I'm loving this, because I believe, so Rabia is going to do a follow-up. And so I reached out to Rabia. Like I said, huge fan of Rabia. And, introduced myself on who I am, everything that I've, done in terms of this case, things that have happened online because of this case. And if there was, I would never talk about this case again. But when I heard this last night, I was like, Jesus, this is weird. This is like a sign almost. Like, because Robbie's going to do a follow-up. And I was like, well, if I think anybody should be on that follow-up, because she says she wants callers. She wants, she'll take callers and stuff like that. So I emailed Rabia, and I may share that email with you guys. It just depends on how I'm feeling. But I believe that myself and Rabia, as well as Ellen here, could have a fire of a conversation, because Rabia says it best. He's not a sociopath. He's not a psycho. Okay, you see that in someone's, past, their history. This is a guy that doesn't have any criminal background. All the things that she was saying in this, that's what I've been saying since day one. He's this everyone's saying he's this monster. But is he? There's no sign of that. So to hear it from somebody that you have just the utmost respect for, and for her to talk about this case, that is why I gave it even a listen. Here you go.
being the husband, of course, when she disappeared, he was questioned. Obviously, we know that the partners are the first ones to be looked at. If they can't eliminate them, they're usually the right one. But while he claimed innocence at first, he ultimately confessed to murdering his entire family, his wife, unborn son.
And see, right here, this is not true. Chris did not confess to this. And in fact, Chris confessed his original confession was nothing of that. It was that he did what he did because of what Shanann did to their children. Okay? But they don't really talk about that. They don't talk about the first confession at all. What they bring up is everything to do with Wisconsin. Okay?
The two daughters. His lies were complicated. They weren't thought out very well. His lies had lies. He initially said he wasn't having an affair when nobody even asked him, apparently. That's totally, not a giveaway. I'm having an affair. Yeah. And then he initially said that he killed Shanann because he saw her killing the kids. And that was just a horrific, despicable lie. Yeah.
The timeline of the actual tragedy is pretty short. Shanann got home from a business trip in the early hours of...
That must have snuck in because I never thought that she talked about that. See, am I dozing off recollection here? So good. They do mention it. And it's like, this is a despicable lie. So he's lying, okay?
Of the morning on August 13th, 2018. While she was gone, Chris had sort of been mentally setting himself up that he was going to tell her he wanted a divorce so that he could be with his mistress. I mean, duh. He was having an affair. Novel. When he had shared this information of wanting a divorce, Shanann had allegedly said he would never see his kids again, and he said he snapped and strangled her.
Then after he kills his wife, he drove her body and his two daughters, who were still alive, to this oil field where he worked. I know, it just gets worse and worse. He smothered his girls in the car, and like he smothered one in front of the other one. Like, Bella was watching when he killed Cece. He put them in separate oil tanks or bodies, and then he buried his wife in a shallow grave. And then the next day, he just goes on with his fucking life. Like nothing happened.
The same day.
The same day. Right. Like this is early morning hours. They're like 5, 6 a.m. So it's like he texted his he texted his realtor. He Googled song lyrics. He searched for hotels in Aspen. He's probably planning a getaway with his girlfriend. He checked Groupon for a deal,
See, right here, this is where Robbie would appreciate the actual facts on this. I can show to her that no, everything to do with Aspen was all Shanann related. And the person that can prove that is the statements of Amanda Thayer. Okay. So everything that you're hearing right now, calling the realtor and doing all that, well, Shanann started that too,
Total psychopath.
So I've said time and time again on...
So it's like he texted he texted his realtor. He Googled song lyrics. He searched for hotels in Aspen. He's probably planning a getaway with his girlfriend. He checked Groupon for a deal. Total psychopath.
So
she says total psychopath. She says total psychopath. But then she's like, but he's not. So here, check this out. This is why I love Rabia. Just total, because she's saying it as like it's happening in real time. It's like, who would ever do this? Just total psychopath. Okay.
Said time and time again on Obsessed with Disappeared, when your gut says something, listen to that bitch, because this whole case was solved by people who felt something was wrong and they said something. Nicole Atkinson followed her gut.
That was one of her best friends.
Oh, see, like right there, Rabia, I love you, girl, but that is not true. Nicole Atkinson was her mother's, closer friend. But did she follow her gut? No, she followed Cassie's gut. But let's go on. Beep Mod Squad's here. You guys better lock it up in chat, man.
Her best friends. So Nicole and Shanann had been out of town, and she knew that Shanann had an OB appointment that morning, and she was
But really, did she know that she had an OB appointment that morning? They talk about no mentioning that she didn't go to the previous two. But did Nicole really know about that OB appointment?
Also just uncharacteristically not answering her phone. She's like, this is just weird. So she stopped by the Watts home. Shanann wasn't there, but her phone and her car keys and her car was there.
Okay, so right there, she gets it wrong. Her phone, she wouldn't know that her phone was there. Okay, it was her shoes were by the door. No one's answering. And then we got on top of our vehicle and jumped up and down to look in the... None of this was caught on camera, though, you know? That's just why, like, I just think it would be great to, you know, when they make their point, just to say, hey, well, did you know that this... Did you ever hear about this? And here it is. So
she was like, boom, I'm calling the cops.
Didn't she also like check with the doctor to see if she had come in? I remember there was some communication with the doctor's office. Like, she was on it.
Right.
She was like, something is not right.
Yeah.
Well, this is a person that basically lived on her phone, documented her whole life,
Yep,
was very close with her
exactly.
family, close with her...
oh, and by the way, this guy that's talking, he's like on Stranger Things. I don't really watch Stranger Things. So if you like give a rat's about Stranger Things on Netflix, this is that dude. Okay? Okay. Couldn't even tell you his name. Let's just call him John Doe.
Had close friends, like, they were people who were known in the neighborhood.
And so these two were really tight.
Oh, wait, right there.
She was on it.
Right.
She was
Yeah.
like, something is not right.
Yeah.
Well, this is a person that basically lived on her phone, documented her whole life,
Yep,
was very close with her
exactly.
family, close with her... Had
Very close with her family. Okay, listen.
close friends, like, they were people who were known in the neighborhood. And
They were people that were known in the neighborhood. Nobody knew them in the neighborhood. That's not true. The only person that knew them in the neighborhood was Nate, and he didn't really know them. But we see all the canvases. Nobody knew who they were. I mean, they got the two little girls. Okay, yeah. You get what I'm saying? Just listen to this. But this, you guys, it gets better.
And so these two are really tight. And what I've read is like the police, when they went through like Shanann's like messages and stuff, she had been sharing her marital issues with her friends, and it could have been that Nicole was like, maybe something's wrong at home, right? Like, so maybe she was concerned because of those issues.
Yeah.
Anyhow, so she texts Chris and she's like, "Where's your wife at? I can't, her car's here, and what's going on?" He comes home and he's like, "Oh, I don't know where she is," and she can see, like, even before he gets...
No, see, like, none of that's right either. Chris says that she's on a play date. Okay, Chris says that she's on a play date.
So she can see that Shanann's like the shoes she wears all the time, or still like in like the hallway, like all the signs are that she came home and then didn't leave.
this is after the cops have already arrived. Like,
cops
Chris
have
wasn't home before, and then,
Right.
I remember, like, the cops, like, called Chris, and they were like, "Hey,
You wanna come down
We don't
here?"
know if your wife..."
Here you go.
is sick or hurt. She's not responding in the house, and when that happens, and this person would be like, kick down the door and go make sure my wife and kids are okay.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Wait till I get back. I'm 5 minutes away."
Yeah.
And I mean, the crazy thing about this case, and I think it's one of the reasons we're so fat, is like so much of it is on body cam.
Yeah,
So
it's
you
so
see,
documented.
Yeah, so you see Chris rolling in, just cool as a cucumber. It's like, I don't know where she went,
So then that's when the neighbor Nathaniel was like, oh,
The neighbor Nathaniel. This is I love Ellen when she talks about Nate. So this is Nate's time. Like, listen to this. Like, this is great.
I have a surveillance camera, and I think it catches the Watts driveway. So they cue it up, and we see a grainy Chris Watts backing his truck up into his garage at 5:17 in the morning. Now, the surveillance was telling, but so was the body camera footage in the Watts home that day, because it basically showed an uninterested man who seemingly did not care that his wife and 2 children were missing, while the best friend and the neighbor were glued to the TV trying to find signs.
Okay, nobody was glued to that TV except for Nate. Okay, Nate and Nick. Okay, Nicole was on the phone and walking all over the place. Was definitely not in there. So, yeah.
Freaking out.
Of anything that could give them information. So then, and hours after murdering his entire family, he gave this haunting interview.
right now, I don't even want to just, like, throw anything out there. Like, I hope that she's somewhere safe right now and with the kids. But, I mean, could she have been? Could she just taken off? I don't know. But if somebody has her and they're not safe, like, I want them back now. Like, that's what's in my head. Like, if they're safe right now, they're going to come back. But if they're not safe right now, that's the not knowing part. Like, if they're not safe, last night I had every light in the house on. I was hoping that I would just ran over by the kids running in the door and just like barrel rushing me, but it didn't happen.
If your wife can see this, if she can watch this, what would you like to tell your wife and your kids?
Shanann, Bella, Celeste, if you're out there, just come back. Like, if somebody has her, just please bring her back. I need to see everybody. I need to see everybody again. This house is not complete without anybody here.
And that was the first time I'd seen Chris Watts. I think that's the first time a lot of us saw Chris.
Yeah.
But that interview kind of just went national.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a horrible interview.
I hadn't followed the case until after everything was said and done. Until he was already convicted. Until he was already in prison.
Yeah.
I just didn't keep up with it. I was like, I think I was like 15 when it happened.
Yeah, no, it was like going all around social media. So I was kind of watching it in real time.
Yeah.
In that interview, I was like, oh, he is so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd seen the interviews after, and I was just like, what was this dude thinking?
He wasn't thinking.
He wasn't thinking. He was panicking.
So his acting was crap, because knowing what we know now, wasn't that just creepy? And so November 6th, 2018, Chris pled guilty to all 9 counts.
So on November 19th, 2018, I mean, literally within like months of the murder. I mean, murder trials don't happen this fast. But because he pled, he was sentenced to 5 consecutive life sentences without the possibility of parole, plus 48 years.
Bye, bitch.
See right there, I laugh. Bye, bitch. That's why I'm telling you, I endorse the shit out of what they're doing. They have like the right amount of seriousness, little humor here and there, and clearly, I mean, I know that Rabia knows what she's talking about, but whoever gave her some of this information, it's obviously not, correct. But
You can get major stuff at.
Everybody online and offline. Yeah, no, listen, this is like one of my favorite genre of podcasts. Every morning
Was it that? And in another episode, recommend.
one of those like, oh, what?
It was.
Could be an absolute psychopath. Like the women feel constantly in fear,
That's
right?
the
Like
scary. I can't
right,
even
like-
imagine. Going to his work.
it was right around
Like,
the corner.
dude.
okay,
During the.
Right, everything seems times, and knowing that in some way justice was served because
There's just so much to like. So check out jordanharbinger.com/.
okay, so they're promoting a podcast that they like.
Start for some episode recommendations.
or search for the Jordan Harbinger Show. That's HARB as in boy, IN as in Nancy, GER on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Yeah.
Go listen.
Here we go. Ready? Oh, this is great.
But even after knowing all the details straight from his mouth, which they have changed over time sometimes, and knowing that in some way justice was served because we are recording this and he's in prison, there is still a lot of fascination about this case,
Yeah.
right? It's not like, this is not one of those like, oh, what happened to John Bonet? This is not like a mystery like that.
Because everything is out there. Like,
Right, everything seems to be out there, right?
Yeah, because we know the outcome, but it's still fascinating.
yeah.
Why is that?
I think it's fascinating to me just because of how utterly stupid he was.
Yeah.
Okay, so like I said, I really don't care what this dude was saying. He's like, I just think it's fascinating because of how stupid Chris Watts is. So that's what he takes from it. No.
Throughout the entirety of the
were
case.
not very good.
During the interview, he literally talks about his daughters in the past tense, as though they've already died. When he
Oh, in that
in
initial-
the initial interview, he says
You're
it
right.
was Cece's birthday, or it was going to be Cece's birthday.
Yeah, her birthday was right around
like,
the corner.
dude,
See, like that is not even true. Cece already had her birthday.
The following week.
You're
Yeah.
So like they're wrong. So Cece had her birthday. It was Cece's birthday. So like that's that's why I'm saying this dude, okay, he just needs to stick to acting. He has no idea what he's talking about. None. But this is completely not true. When they say, oh yeah, Cece's birthday was right around the corner. No, Cece already had her birthday. That's why he said it like that. Meaning Chris Watts.
Right.
it just blows my mind, and I think that's kind of what drew me to it initially.
Also, I guess, if you're going to do something so horrible, taking them to his work.
Took him to his work. Yeah.
We've all seen this, like on social media and like single women, especially when they're dating, there's this little bit of fear. It's like, the person I'm like going out with tonight could be an absolute psychopath.
Yeah.
Like the women feel constantly.
God, I love Rabia. The person I'm going out tonight with could be total psychopath. Yes, Rabia. Yes. How about the people that come in my live chats? I'm like, this bitch is a total psycho. Like, I feel you, Rabia, on that. You may talk about dates. No, I talk about fucking strangers coming into my live chat. I'm like, this fucker is total psychopathic lunatic. Haven't seen them ever. I put on 20 plus minutes of being a subscriber and then hear all these fucking randoms show up. I'm like, what a bunch of psychopathic lunatics. You know, just letting it be known, hey, I am a subscriber. More than 20 minutes, you know. Anyways. God, I love Rabia. Like, total ball bust. Love it.
That's
right?
the
Like,
scary. I can't even imagine.
Like, you have no idea who you're dating, but you also don't have any idea who you're married to. You know how many people have affairs? Plenty of people have affairs. So it's like, is the affair going to lead to something so extreme? This man had no previous criminal record. No. There is no history of domestic violence.
This wasn't about the affair, though. Like, it just like, because the
See, Rabia is going, this guy had no history of anything. None. She brings it up. That is the fascinating part about this. This dude was liked by all. And he was a great dad. Right? Up until obviously this point. That is the fascinating part and what captivated America. But it also reminded America, like, yep, y'all do it. Y'all click on social media. Life is great. And keeping up with the Joneses.
Easiest thing, like, it's messed up, and you're kind of like, it's a piece of crap move to leave your pregnant wife for somebody you're dating at the time. But it would have been as simple as that, is to be like, I want a divorce. I found somebody else. Right.
And it seemed like, even with the conversation Shanann was having before she was killed, like, she knew something was up. He was probably seeing somebody else. She's like thinking, what can I afford? How can I raise 3 kids on my own? She's got all these books on marriage therapy, which, by the way, the morning after he killed her, he threw away that therapy. Can you believe that? He threw it away in the trash. He threw it in the trash after he killed his wife.
She had also written.
Actually, Rabia, I think that he probably threw in the trash before, but I mean, that's just here nor there. But she laughs about it right there. She's like, can you believe he just threw it in the trash? Like, she kind of like lets out a little like, ugh.
Page handwritten letter, and she specified, you've been weird the past 5 weeks, and of course now we know that the affair allegedly had been going on for 6 weeks, and people's relation.
She nailed it.
She
felt it
knew.
immediately. Yeah.
A 2-page handwritten letter. She knew there was something off.
To me, the idea that a husband like that, who has there's no red flags. There really aren't. It doesn't sound like they had big fights in the marriage. Nobody reported that. They just seem like an everyday couple.
I think Nathaniel, their next door neighbor, said that over the past few weeks they had been.
If I hear one more person call this motherfucker Nathaniel, I'm gonna flip. Nathaniel. I mean, listen to what he says about Nathaniel saying that he knew about some fights. This is great. Listen to this. God bless this boy. He's gonna be like, who's this bitch that was like hating on me on some YouTube channel? I'm not. He just makes me laugh.
Off.
To me, the idea that a husband like that, who has there's no red flags. There really aren't. It doesn't sound like they had big fights in the marriage. Nobody reported
Listen up.
that. They just seem like an everyday couple.
I think Nathaniel, their next door neighbor, said that over the past few weeks they had been really going at it.
Shanann had texted her friends.
I think Nathaniel said they had really been going at it the past couple weeks. Someone needs to tell him. Stranger Things is calling his name. Oh, God. This is funny. Oh, God. Nathaniel.
This is weird. I don't know what's going on. I think there's someone else. I mean, you're like,
but she didn't say she was scared of him.
No,
there wasn't violence. He didn't have a criminal past. I think that's the thing to me that it's like, holy crap! It's like you, even when you're married, you're having your 3rd kid, you got a house and a mortgage, and you know what I mean. Even in a situation like that, you have no history of domestic violence. It's like, this guy could kill me.
Sorry. I'm going to replay that because I was just laughing over here and it was not appropriate. So, hold on. Here you go. Nosy Nathaniel.
The past few weeks, they had been really going at it.
Shanann had texted her friends. This is weird. I don't know what's going on. I think there's someone else. I mean,
again, I have to correct them here. No, it wasn't like she was doing laundry and just texting her friends. No, she was in her bed, staying up all night. Staying up all night, okay, and texting with her friends like, this motherfucker, I'm taking him for everything he's worth. This beep, 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 you know, so stuff like that, you know.
She didn't say she was scared of him.
No,
there wasn't violence. He didn't have a criminal past. I think that's the thing to me, that it's like, holy crap. It's like you, even when you're married, you're having your third kid, you got like a house and a mortgage and like, you know what I mean? Even in the situation like that, where you have no history of domestic violence, it's like, this guy could kill me.
It blows my mind.
Sometimes I look at my husband for long periods of time.
I love Rabia. Sometimes I look at my husband for a long period of time thinking, is today the day? Rabia. Cheers to Rabia. Cheers to Rabia. Rabia, thank you for doing this. You know, and this is why they ended up covering it. Because of this man on Stranger Things. They said, oh, what case would you want us to talk about? And he said the Chris Watts case. And I'm like, whoever this man is, just thank you, because... And that's why Rabia talked about it. This was her second episode to kick off her new podcast. It's called Rabia and Ellen Solve the Case. Because, wait, they're telling us right now that they don't believe that this case is solved, by the way. So hang tight.
That case, you're like, oh, crap.
Just divorce me, man.
Yeah.
Just divorce me.
It just blows my mind thinking about how somebody can, to that insane of an extent, look at human beings in your life as complete objects, to an extent of like, I'm just gonna literally just throw this object away, as if like, for like having no
And for
concept
what? For a
of
woman
like
you've
the
known for
fact
6
that
weeks.
that you're his parents, friends, loved ones,
For a woman you
alive.
known for 6
And
weeks.
It's just, there's something truly like I don't want to just chalk it up to him being a psychopath. That's not like satisfying.
Yeah, I don't
There's
think
something
he's a
truly-
psychopath.
What is up, girl?
Because a psychopath or a sociopath, those are like actually diagnosable conditions.
Yeah.
And he would have had a history of showing that.
See, right here, this is why I fuck with Rabia. Brains, man. The woman's got fucking balls. But man, does she have a brain up there. This is chef's kiss. She nails it right here. She totally nails it.
He was actually, everybody said he was a really quiet guy.
Mild-mannered. He even seemed mild-mannered in all of
What's
his
up, Alex?
interrogation.
She was kind of the one who was outgoing
He
and
was
on
shitting his
social media.
pants
Yeah.
in those interrogations.
Actually pooping.
Like,
He was literally pooping.
Like, it's
They're saying that he was literally pooping his pants in those interviews.
like those interrogations. It's messed up to say that they made me laugh, but the only reason I did is because like I cannot wait for this guy to be locked up for the rest of his
He was
fucking life.
very matter-of-fact. In the one he gave from jail, that 5-hour one that he gave, he was very matter-of-fact. I mean,
She's talking about the Wisconsin interview, okay? Now, this is when I was listening in bed, and I'm like, oh my God, wait, what did I just hear? Cadel gets brought up. Cadel Schmadel Badel. Cadel Schmadel.
I mean, he said this was all premeditated.
100%,
The rage, because he said, I remember the day before he had a beautiful day with his kids, and he remembers
went to a birthday
thinking,
party?
this is the last day I'm going to tuck my little babies. So that disconnect is wild. He recounted Bella saying, are you going to do to me what you did to Cece? I mean, that is, to say that out loud is...
See, I'm going to agree. I don't care what the hell's going on with that man, CW. For him to remotely talk about anything like this, and for him to be remember and say these type of things, that doesn't make any sense. Who would ever admit to this type of stuff? Who would ever say this? Okay. And then if you listen to Kim Kaufman, she says, oh, he was just taking him down a road. You know what I mean? He was just messing with him. You know what I mean? And I'm like, excuse me?
also, you know,
that's not from a person who's ill. Like, that's not what people who are mentally ill do.
I don't understand. It's like, did he just go dead inside for a little bit? I think for a while he wasn't happy in the marriage. It seemed like he was just kind of like, he was there, but Shanann was like, you know, the one who was kind of popular and happy and outgoing. And he definitely, that video where she did the reveal that I'm having another baby, he did not seem happy.
He said, "Oh, awesome."
Right, like high five.
And his eyes said, "Oh, shit."
Oh, shit, yeah. He was kind of checked out of the marriage. I wonder if, but for the affair beginning, would he have gone to this, like, extreme? I don't know.
He said after he did it, "Now I'm free to be with Nikki." He said those exact words. That's how.
Okay. What? Where did he say this? That now I'm free to be with Nikki? Can somebody please point me there? When did he ever speak this? Did he write this in a letter? I mean, where is this "now I'm free to be with Nikki"? Where'd this come from? So if you guys know, please let me know. So hold on though. This gets real interesting.
And he even acknowledges how unfeeling he was. I mean, this is really dark. I don't know if you heard this in the interrogation, but he said when he put Shanann in the shallow grave, she landed face first, and he was like, "I don't even care."
Oh my God.
He was, and he recounts how emotionless he was. He was like, "I was so angry, I didn't even care." I mean, it is very graphic, his details that he remembers, and the lack of emotion it's shocking.
I can understand people who snap in a moment and like almost like black out in a rage and like, because I do think that kind of thing can happen, and afterwards are like, what the hell? But that's not what happened here.
No,
he knew
for the rage for what? Like, what is he angry about?
Well, I think he said that he felt angry that he was saddled with kids, and then when he was with his girlfriend, he was like, "I can just be me. I don't have to be a dad, and I don't have to be a husband."
When did he ever say that he was saddled with kids? He was saddled with kids. I don't recall that either.
Yeah, I can just be me. But, you know, there was a letter he wrote to this woman. He was communicating with this woman in 2019.
Okay, this is it, guys. This is it. Here we go. Check this out. Here it comes.
This is so horrifying to me.
Wait, from prison?
Yeah.
From prison, yeah.
He's got prison girlfriends. It's really sick.
This was apparently a woman.
He's got prison girlfriends. It's really sad. Who? Kim Kaufman? I'm sorry. I can't. Hold on.
What?
Oh yeah. Listen, every killer out there has somebody who wants to be with them.
What?
But this woman was apparently
this is a visual. This is an audio medium, but you should see Gaten's face. Oh yeah. Women who like sympathize or empathize or want to find a reason or want to say, "Oh, she drove you crazy. You were so." It's a wild phenomenon.
It's a whole thing.
What the hell?
Listen, Adnan Syed, right? I mean, like the Adnan Syed. Adnan has gotten hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of women reaching out to him. And granted, they believe he's innocent, but they have no idea. They don't know him, right? But they're like sending him all kinds of personal details.
He's very
Here's my
handsome.
home address. I'm like, yeah, he's a good-looking guy.
Here's my home address. Rabia, this is why she rocks, man. You know, and that's it. He was getting hundreds and hundreds of letters, and these women would just do all this stuff. Oh yeah, and here's my home address. And Rabia's like, "You're giving." I'm sorry, but she cracks me up, man.
He's a good-looking guy. But see, for me,
is that why? But I mean, like, is it because Chris was like
listen, the guys
somewhat
in
good-looking
prison,
dude that like they were like, "Oh my God, let me write love letters to
Chris
this
was not a bad-looking guy.
No, but I mean that whole "let me fix him" mentality is from people who
that
are
extreme?
not well. Exactly.
Well, so this woman was writing him. I don't know if there was a romantic thing, but she had told him she was going to write a book, and so he wrote her a letter in which he said, and the entire letter has been published online, so you can read it. In which he says, in a part of it, that Shanann was in bed, that he went first and he smothered the girls, the two daughters, and he thought he had killed them. Then he went back to kill his wife, but the girls both woke back up. And then when they woke up, they looked like they were bruised and traumatized. They came into the room, and he realized, crap, I didn't actually kill them, right? Like, but,
I didn't know that. I didn't think he had attempted to murder them before Shanann.
right. I mean, but it does make sense to me that he would do that in a way. I mean,
Because it was premeditated.
Because it was totally premeditated. And then we can talk about, like, that he drugged her, too, you know, to do this.
What? Oh,
Yeah,
I didn't
he
realize.
drugged her.
I'm
She never fought back. There's no...
Wait a second. Now, here's where it gets interesting. I mean, even more so interesting. Right here is where I pop out of bed and I'm like, what are they talking about? So, please listen up. Rabia and Ellen are under the assumption that Shanann was drugged that night. Okay. And that's why she did not have any defensive wounds, because she was all doped up on Oxy. On fucking Oxy? Hold on.
No evidence. He had no defensive wounds, and the police were like, "That's so weird. That, like, who just lays there and gets strangled, right? Because she had been drugged." And we'll talk about that too.
Whoa,
but,
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
but the fact that these little girls have already been like traumatized. They've been smothered by their dad. They've woken up from this trauma, and then they see this happening to their mother.
Absolutely.
And so then he completes the task. He doesn't just say, "Well, I had blacked out and I didn't know what I was doing to my girls, and I'm just gonna let them go now." But he's like, "No, I'm gonna finish this off."
No, like it was. Oh.
Right, and a logical person would say, just move away. Disappear.
Get out.
Go to somewhere else. Go move to
Leave.
another
That's
country.
the thing. It's like he doesn't want to be a dad. He doesn't want
Just
to have
leave.
to be quote unquote tied down by his
Yeah.
Let me tell
absolutely beautiful family.
Let me tell you,
He doesn't just decide to run away. It's
so
just
tired of all the reasons men kill women. It's because they want to be with them. It's because they don't want to be with them. It's because they don't want them to be with somebody else. I mean, like, there every possible combination of reasons.
Listen, Rabia says the most amazing comment about this Oxy. It is freaking genius, because she's the first person to say it in a way that you guys are going to be like, wow, okay? Because no one said it like this. And I think I'm so happy she did, because of what I plan on proving.
Exist for
What's
men
one of the
killing women.
craziest things you've seen throughout your career?
Like in a domestic violence case,
Yeah.
like in this kind of family annihilation case. I mean, this is probably one of but it's a pattern.
Yeah.
Like, you see this all the time. Whenever there's a spouse who's killed a spouse, you're like, there's always like an affair part.
Exactly, VA. That's what baffles me right now, is because Rabia is a very, very intelligent person. She does her homework, all that stuff. Where is Rabia getting this idea that there was Oxy in Shanann's system? She says it. They say it, that there was Oxy in her system. And I'm like, wait, what? What? Wait for it.
It happens.
Always.
Like, it's almost
That's
always.
probably why, because in my research, I found out that they sat down and they said, your kids are missing. I didn't have an affair. Right. And they were like, okay, bro, we didn't even,
All right.
because
That's not how that happened either.
He probably knew that's the first place that they would go, but it is.
Yeah, and the world had already seen, like, the Scott Peterson case at this point, and Amber Fry. I'm like,
Well, I don't know this case.
oh, well, check out our podcast.
Okay,
Hear
great.
about it.
I can't wait. This is gonna be great.
It's the first episode.
That's our first episode.
Were you born then? Wait,
Well, I was born in 2002.
was it 2002? I think it was around the same time.
It was literally that.
Holy crap!
Yeah.
It was this year you were
Wow.
born.
Well,
It'll be our first episode, so you'll hear it.
Great. I can't wait.
So, well, let's jump into the mistress. I have
Here
to
we
say,
go.
I haven't heard your take on this. So, the mistress's name was Nicole Kessinger. We'll get into a little bit more about her.
Okay, so now everything that you're going to hear from here on out, it's all about NK. So if you guys are on that, NK was involved. NK is an accessory after the fact. If you're on that train of NK, Rabia and Ellen, they say some wild stuff here. And this is where I want to know where they're getting their information, because I was like, what the fuck? Where'd y'all get this shit from? Here we go.
I remember thinking, this woman is a victim as well.
Yeah, I would be horrified.
He was having an affair. She didn't know the Amber Fry of it all.
Exactly, yeah.
She was, and then, because I do know this case, but getting to dive into it, I've been so fascinated because I really just open and shut. Oh, he's a family annihilator. He's a piece of shit. He pled out. He's in jail. Great. And I haven't really taken a dive into this case beyond seeing, a couple of documentaries.
Right.
But now diving in,
Really?
I was like, oh, wait a second.
Are we making a citizen's arrest?
Oh my God, right there. I love her. I love her. Are we making a citizen's arrest or what? Rabia's like, are we making a citizen's arrest? Basically about Nicole Kessinger, okay? So here we go.
Really, really empathized and thought, this is just a piece of shit man.
Yeah.
Who
He fooled her.
He fooled her.
No.
The
Because
past
this is a
couple
pretty
of days,
serious thing to suggest about a case like this and a person potentially being involved in a case like this. So, I'm excited to hear.
Well, we don't want to be sued. However, we are going to refer to actual documentary evidence.
Yes, this is all
of course.
facts
Right
that
there.
we're gonna share.
Did you hear
Let's
that?
start
We don't want to be sued. So we're going to refer to documents, okay? Document facts, okay? Here we go. You guys heard it right there because I had to play this over and over and over this morning because I was like, wait, where is she getting this shit from? Like, who gave them this? I was literally blown. Listen to it.
The
Because
past
this is a
couple
pretty
of days,
serious thing to suggest about.
Wait a second.
Are we making a citizen's arrest?
In my mind, I really, really empathized and thought, this is just a piece of shit man.
Yeah.
Who
He fooled her.
He fooled her.
No.
The
Because this
past
is a
couple
pretty
of days,
serious thing to suggest about a case like this and a person potentially being involved in a case like this. So I'm excited to hear.
Well, we don't want to be sued. However, we are going to refer to actual documentary evidence.
Yes, this is all
of course.
facts that we're going to share.
Let's start at the beginning in their relationship, right? So she had told police that, and she came forward to the police a couple of days after the disappearance, or had they found the bodies? I can't remember, but she came forward, and it seemed like she had come forward, but later we learned that her workplace, and she worked at the same place as Chris, had told her that, by the way, we gave your work emails to the police, and she's like, I think that's what made her go like, oh crap, I better go myself to the police. But what we thought we knew, that they had only been together for a couple of months and she didn't know him that well, turns out not to be quite true, it seems.
Well, the reason people dug into this is because she said, I have no interest in being serious with a married man or a divorcing man.
Sure.
Yet, they had started dating June 2018, but her Google search would show that she searched Chris Watts and Shanann Watts August 2017.
Whoa.
She was stalking him.
Really? Was this before?
Rabia says she was stalking them. Rabia, why would you say such a thing? NK was stalking them. Always coming back to this infamous word, stalking. So just listen to this though, because there is documentation of this. Okay, but however, it was said that was a typo. Because remember, they only did a 6-week back. They only celebrated, and they did everything that they provided was from 6-week period. Okay, so where is this coming from, right? And you have to remember, they messed with their SIM cards and their phones and blah, blah, blah.
So, did they potentially have a relationship before that? Or is this just... Well, she said that she didn't know Shanann's name.
No, she
was all over Shanann's Facebook.
No way.
She had been searching her Facebook.
I remember when, I saw the...
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, we'll tell you more. So they worked at the same place, but a year before, just about, they started dating. She Google searched him.
Yeah. My theory here is
And her.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Because she found out. The thing is, if she had Googled him at that time, probably, because Shanann was pretty active on Facebook. You know what I mean? She was that era's she was a little influencer in her own little way. Had a lot to put up a lot of content and stuff.
Her life.
Yeah,
and her kids.
So definitely, if she had Googled him, the wife would have come up. I'm positive of it.
Sure.
And I'm guessing she probably saw him at work and was like, who is that guy? I'm attracted to him. Looked him up. I mean, that's the normal thing people do, right? Like, we try to
Yeah. I want to make sure he's not married.
Oh, he's married.
Oh, but he's married.
And then I don't know what transpired in the year between that and them actually getting together. And he also said this, that but when they started dating, he did tell her that we're actually going through a separation, or we're like, he made it clear like the marriage is kind of over.
Right. And she made...
And they were not.
No, I mean, they might have been having trouble, or maybe he was looking for a way out. She says he didn't say they had kids,
But she's on Shanann's Facebook page.
she looked at Shanann's Facebook page. So she said, like, I didn't know they had kids, but around their first date, her internet search history would show that she searched the page, and Shanann would say, look at my husband, happy Father's Day.
Yeah, when you see Janen's page, you're going to see videos and pictures of her children and her husband.
Yeah, and she even posted the video of her revealing the pregnancy to her husband. I mean, there's no way if this woman is interested in this guy for a year that she's not stalking every single move that's being made by the wife, right? Of course she is.
Yeah, of course.
Talking about her contradicting statements, because her interrogation is really interesting. Did you watch her interrogation, Rabia?
I watched some of it.
She seemed almost annoyed that she was there. Also, her dad was present for one of them, which I thought was interesting.
What I don't understand is why for any time ever you are put in any room with law enforcement and they're like, we're going to sit down and talk to you, you don't just go lawyer. What are you doing? It's the craziest thing to me. Their job is to try to get you to say incriminating things. Like,
I really appreciate you saying what the lawyer should have said, because you're absolutely right.
It's
always
crazy. It's especially if you're innocent. Especially if you're
But here's
innocent.
the thing, though. The reason people don't, and this I've seen this so many times. I've seen this with people I know personally. They don't because they're like, that's going to make me look guilty.
No, that's their
And the
job.
police will say that,
Their job is specific. Like, they could, like, the amount, like, they're skilled.
Yeah.
Interrogator.
All right, guys. So I'm going to leave it right there because we're going to be picking this up for a 2-part. And this is all going to be the NK part. So join me back as I pick this up a little bit later. But wanted to get your feet a little wet into what we're going to be talking about. Again, Rabia dropped a new podcast. Go out, check it out. It's Rabia and Ellen Solve the Case. It is in the description, and I didn't realize, I think she has a Y in her name, so I'm going to go ahead and change that. But yeah, let's talk about it. I want to hear what you guys think, and that's what we're going to pick up a little bit later. So hope you guys are doing well. Love to see, loved all of you guys that were in chat. It was good to see you guys. And yeah, if you just, joined in a little bit like late, then you can go back and listen to it, and then we'll have this nice little follow-up. Peace out, Girl Scouts. Ready or not, here I come. You can't hide.
Ready or not, here I come. You can't hide. Gonna find